Yo, what's happening is Tuesday, the 25th. It's going to be a crazy week this week. Right now, it's kind of quiet. Things are kind of, just tiptoeing into the week, but we're going to get into the charts and show you the channel where we're heading. And with as much news that's coming out, all depends on how this swings. It could get pretty quickly dropped to the bottom of that channel. So can it go up above it? Well, we'll just see. We'll get into that when we get into the discussion on that channel. But just to kind of remind you guys where things are at with respect to rates. Often everybody keeps thinking, I have no idea. I'm really lost at where people are getting that rates are lower than what they are right now. But just bankrate.com, guys. It's the easiest way for you to judge it. Go straight over to that to that site. You got to scroll down to get to Bankrate. And you got to click on this mortgage right here after it says a better rate is waiting. It will start with banking, which is your checking, savings, CDs. Go to mortgage, 7.25 for your average homeowner. Now, I don't think they're as accurate with the 15, 10, and 5-year ARM. But again, it's for home ownership, not for investment. You start looking at investment, there's some people recently that had much lower rates available to them with respect to the ARMs, these banks, and probably regional or smaller banks that were not your big banks that were offering investors some ridiculous rate on an ARM. But that's not happening as much right now. It's starting to die down. Why? Because they bought into a lot of the mortgage market, and they're not as, I don't know that they are as getting what they thought they were going to get, right? What did they want with that? They wanted deposit or capital. Were they getting it? I don't know that they were. So maybe they're getting some. It spurred the market a little bit because that's what they need. They need deposit to make money. They don't make money off mortgages. It's clearly they weren't making money off mortgages. They were giving those things away for a little while just to draw attention to themselves to get more deposit or capital. That's what keeps banks alive. Any run on the bank, man, people freak the hell out. They freeze that. They cause problems. So that gets that whole all-in-one loan. If you're considering one of those, especially on investment property, you better reach out to me. We need to talk about that because I can write them. If you want them, I get you all in one. You can get your loan screen for your owner occupied all day long. Get it for your vacation homes all day long. We write those all the time. First time home buyer stuff, not so much if it's a specialized program. If it's your first time, you get the 3.5% down, FHA, VA, USDA. We do all that stuff. We focus on the investor because it's the hardest type of loan to do. And because that's the one where we can help you change your future. Can't really change your future that much by giving you the biggest debt of your life, especially the first time home buyer loan. You guys don't realize how much many of those are built as the greatest debt you'll ever have. So this week, we're going to be seeing a lot going on with the economic data that's coming out later this week. So we got the Fed rate decision tomorrow. The FOMC meeting. That's really going to tell whether or not they're raising or lowering. So we've got, let me see here, initial jobless claims, continuous jobless claims coming out, the GDP, durable good orders, pending home sales, all that coming in on Thursday, Friday, PCE, the Personal Consumption Expenditures Index. It's a lot like the CPI. The CPI is the Fed's way of rating inflation. The PC is another way that they actually measure inflation. So they got two of these indexes. Now, to understand, the indexes that they give us aren't the real rate of inflation. It's only what they track. If you don't understand that, have you noticed we have a Dow, we have a NYSE, and we have a NASDAQ? 3 different indexes. There's more indexes than that, but those are 3 indexes. Their value at the end of the day, even though they're all made up of stocks, are all different value. Why? Because they have different things in them. That's why the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, or the PCE, the Personal Consumption Expenditures Index, that the Federal Reserve look at to tell us what inflation is doing, is based on specific things and things that they can manipulate with monetary policy. It's not the true rate of inflation. So I heard it explained to me at one point that they made a $20 gold piece up until the early 1900s. So an ounce of gold was $20. That wasn't a pure ounce, right? They had to have some copper in there to give it some durability, but it's nearly an ounce of gold, 0.9 something percent pure. So that ounce of gold was $20, right? And with an ounce of gold, you can go in and buy a new suit, a shirt, a tie. Now, I don't buy that shit. A belt, a pair of shoes, and a pair of socks for that ounce of gold, that $20. Fast forward to today, an ounce of gold is about $2,000. I can tell you that's what it costs to get a suit, a tie, not a tie, I don't buy the damn tie, a shirt, a pair of pants, well, that's part of the suit, the socks, the shoes, and the belt, all that, because I bought some recently because I go to DC. I have to meet with people once you wear a suit. I had all this made, $2,000, right? So an ounce of gold will still get you exactly those items this many years later. So it has to do with the value of the instrument we're buying the gold with or the suit with. There's way too much of it in circulation. Therefore, inflation has eroded things. That's how they're trying to determine what's going on with their ability to print money and throw it out there in the economy. So if you really want to get into the depth of how much money is out in the economy, there's way more money floating around as far as in circulation, as they call it. That's not in the banks, not something they know where it's at, they can't control, outside of our country than inside our country. That's also pretty interesting to note. So let's get into the charts. Want to get into there, but get too deep into this, though. I don't want to get to lose you. So this channel I drew last week, and I'm continuing to watch this channel, because if you look at this, every time you get to the bottom of it, get pulled right back up into the middle of it, push the top, push the bottom, push the top, push the bottom. We want to lock up in here, float it down in here. That's the way I think that we should play this. So you, as a person that has a loan in process right now, if you're closing within the next 30 days, I'm thinking you probably want to be locking it right now. Even if you were quoted something and the rates went up a little bit, or the cost went up a little bit, you might want to lock it now, because I don't think we're going to get back up into this swing for another probably 20 plus days. But who knows what this week brings? There's a lot of data coming out. The PCE and the could have some sort of movement in the bonds. We don't know. It could keep it up here and shove it back up. We've seen that play this game a little bit. It might keep playing up in here. Hard to say, but I don't know that we're going to see that much differential. Maybe about 0.5% in cost, something to that effect. So just know that we're in a risky spot of it dropping. And if it does drop, that's 100 basis points, probably about 80 basis points to drop, which could be about 0.8% in cost, which would be about let's say 3/4 of a point in cost. On a $100,000 deal, that's $750. That can get expensive. So be aware of that. Talk to Scotty. He'll keep you up on it. But you can watch the market on Mortgage News Daily. You can see if it goes down, rates are going up. It's coming up, rates are getting better. That's the best way to do. If you want greater detail, contact us. And if you want to understand how you make 20% return on investment for whatever you invest into a house, you're putting 20% down plus costs, regardless of whatever your cash flow is, call me. Let's talk about it. I'll give you a breakdown on it. Very easy to do. Talk to you on Friday.